with our HTML table basics, we're going back to the first document we created in creating tables. And we're going to expand on that. The next thing we want to do is we want to create, if you remember what this looks like, we've got a little 2x2 table, and now we want to create an additional row. So I'm going to go ahead right down here, and I'm going to create an additional row. So that actually spans both columns. So I'm going to say table row, table data, Colspan equals, and then the number of columns we want it to span, which is 2. And we'll call this spanning columns / table data / table row. Let's go ahead and save that. We can then go to our browser, hit refresh, and so you can see that this one spans both columns. So you have row 1, cell 1, row 2, cell 2. Now this is row 3 spanning columns. I'll just add that in there. Save that, refresh that, and put that up. So what if now we wanted to span rows instead of columns, or spanning rows? So what if we wanted to merge row 1, cell 1 with row 2, cell 2, with row 2, cell 1? So this, we want to merge this cell with this cell so that those become one cell. Well, how would we do that? Well, we could come up here to this first row and say Rowspan equals 2. Now, if I leave it like this, I know I'm going to break it, but I'm just going to throw in that Rowspan of 2, because what we really need to do is delete this right now. Otherwise, it's going to kind of throw our table off. So I'm going to go ahead and save this and show you what it does if we don't delete that. Kind of throws our table all out of whack. So if we come in here now and delete this row, or this little table data cell, then our table should be just fine. So we've spanned those rows and those columns. So that is spanning multiple rows and columns. And you can add to that if you add additional rows and columns. Let's go ahead and do that. What if we added an additional column to our table? Let's add an additional column. So I'm going to come in here and say table data row 1 cell 3 / table data. And on this one, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say table data row 2 cell 3. And on this one, I'm going to go table data row 3 cell 3. We can go ahead and save that, and it should just give us an additional column to all of this. Now, what if I wanted to have this third row span all the way across all 3 of those? Or I could do all 3 of these rows. Well, I could go here and I could just increase the number of Colspans to 3. Now, if I leave this here, it's going to break it. So I'm going to save it and show you what it does as you break it. It kicks that extra column out, and we'll go ahead and come in here and delete that now, and it should be good to go. Save that, refresh, and that's how we do multiple rows, spanning multiple rows or spanning multiple columns. So the attributes are Rowspan and Colspan to span columns and rows.